Hi there, happy Friday. I have been talking a lot about self talk this week in multiple different conversations. So I wanted to come up and share a tool that I've kind of come up with to help with self talk. So I want to talk specifically about today about when your self talk is spiraling. This is a phrase that me and my husband use with each other. Like something will be going on, and one of us will look at the other one and say, "I'm spiraling," and we know what that means. So, number one, I'm curious if y'all use that phrase. If you use that phrase of like when you are just really going down the rabbit hole of these negative, worrisome thoughts, what happens? What's it like to be in a spiral? So the first kind of idea I want to share is when I picture a spiral, I picture like this, like one line of like in the kind of tornado thing. So I want you to kind of have that same, I'm going to keep doing this little move, keep having that same idea in mind. But for this tool, I want you to reframe that imagery, number one. So a spiral looks like this, but what else looks like that? It looks like a spring. And when we think about a spring, we can think about it propelling us forward rather than us going down this rabbit hole and spiraling. So I want you to kind of think when I share this tool about turning that spiral into a spring and springing yourself forward rather than spiraling down or spiraling out of control. And the tools to get there, they all start with a B. I made them all start with a B so that it was a little bit easier to remember. The very first one is to breathe. Pay attention to your breathing. That's the only thing that can really tell our nervous system to calm down other than time. So if you're freaking out about something and you're just spiraling and those thoughts are going, and you remind yourself to breathe, take in an actual deep breath in through your nose and then breathe out even slower out, and make that breath out longer than it was in, that is actually able to bring our heart rate down, and it sends the signal to your brain to go, oh, okay, no danger, we're good, everyone calm down, bring that nervous system back down, we don't need to be all up in survival mode. Because our body does that, it's a way to protect us, right? Because evolutionarily speaking, if you saw a tiger, you needed to get away, so your body needed to do that. The same system gets kicked into gear when we're in survival mode, but if we breathe and can bring ourselves back down, our brain says, oh, okay, no tiger, don't need to run. So you can bring yourself down just by breathing. Once you're focusing on your breath, paying attention to that, you have your breathing under control, pay attention to your body, what your body's doing. Is it tense? And just ask yourself those questions, because once we kind of say, okay, are my shoulders tense? You kind of naturally go, oh, yeah, they are. And you bring them down. Do like a body scan, which is exactly what it sounds like. Start with your face muscles, move into your neck. Is my neck tense? Are my shoulders tense? Are my arms tense? Am I like clenching my gut? Are my legs tense? Am I doing the whole knee shaking thing? Just start paying attention to your body. And if you find a certain place on your body that's particularly tense or particularly uncomfortable, send some positive energy there. I know that's like a mental thing, but do it. Like sometimes my shoulder will feel super tense and I've tried to already relax it, but just remind yourself, send some good energy there, send it to your shoulder, because you might be kind of holding that stress in your shoulders. The third B is kind of a fun one. It's bump the why. So sometimes when we're spiraling, we really start to spiral out of control, and we start to ask ourselves, like, what is wrong with me? Why do I do this? Why can't I do this? Why? What's wrong with me? And you want this bigger answer than the moment that you're actually in. So when you are in this spiral and you are trying to really come out of it, I want you to just forget the why. Bump it off, whatever you need to do it. The why is something to focus on after you're able to come down. The why is something to focus on when you're in therapy with your counselor. Why do you do these things? What need is that serving? The why is a time where when you're chatting with friends and trying to go over it, when you're calm, address the why. Don't address the why when you're trying to just calm yourself down in general. Fourth step is be kind to yourself. What are the words you are saying to yourself? You're not going to calm down if you're berating yourself or beating yourself down. Give yourself some self-compassion, even if you have to say, you know what, this situation is really hard. And I'm going to take just a minute to kind of honor that this is really hard. Be nice to yourself. What would you say to a friend if they were having a hard time? Or what would you say to a kid if they were having a hard time? Be kind to yourself in that moment too. The fifth one is break it down. Now that you've calmed your body down, you've calmed your breathing down, you've forgotten about the why, you're being nice to yourself, break it down. What is right in front of you? What are you stressed out about? Break it down into small steps, and what is something you can do in the next 5 minutes to move forward? What's something you can do in the next 10 minutes to move forward? And that could be super small, but just break it down, because the more that you take steps forward, the more confidence you're going to gain in being able to take care of this, whatever that situation is. That's how you turn this spiral into a spring and start moving forward. Use your thoughts to spring yourself forward. So just to reiterate, the steps are breathe, body, bump the why, be kind to yourself, and break it down. I hope those 5 steps are helpful. I hope you can remember them, and I hope you use them. If self-talk is something that is a struggle for you and you need a little bit more help, please consider looking into my ebook called Self-Care for This Season of Your Life. There's some actionable steps in there to kind of help you with that. And then I also have a Facebook group called the Self-Care for the Holiday Hustle. If you need some kind of accountability, join that group, look that group up. It's going to be an awesome place for some support and accountability and more learning about self-care. I hope these steps are helpful. And then message me if you have any questions or any comments or want to share a spiral that you struggle with. Okay, thank you.